good? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, and push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. All right, so we're going to be talking about these 25 states that have decided to sue the Trump administration for lack of funding for SNAP benefits. And I have some couple of thoughts about that before we jump into the article. So from what I understand, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of this as well, we know that our president has decided to tear down the East-West wing. I don't care what it is, a piece of the castle in the Beauty and the Beast, whatever it is, he's tearing down a portion of the White House so that he can build a ballroom. For what reason, I don't know. That has to cost millions and billions of dollars, right? On top of that, did he not just send 40 million or billion, either way it's a lot of money, to Argentina to help them? So what I find to be interesting about all of this talk that they're having when it comes to politics and everything, we have the Republicans that are saying that the Democrats are wanting to give more money and benefits to immigrants or undocumented humans. But I find that to be hypocritical when you sit 40 million or billion, because I'm not sure which one it is, over to Argentina. Last time I checked, that was not the United States of America. So do we care about Americans or do we not? I also don't understand the need for breaking down the White House to create a ballroom. I'm not sure. On top of the fact that he is also suing the government, our president is suing the government for $230 million. Now, from what I've heard, and this hasn't been verified by any state or federal level entity. This is just something that I've heard because I've got my ears to the streets now and I'm listening to people's opinions and all of that. I just want to give you guys that disclaimer so you know. But from what I heard, supposedly it's supposed to cost around, I want to say $18 billion to fund SNAP benefits through the end of the year. So through December for November and December for the United States of America. I'm sure that with all of this money that is being spent on all of these extracurricular activities and projects, that there is $18 billion to fund SNAP benefits. This is a choice that they are making. They are trying to create stress and anxiety amongst people, and I highly encourage you guys not to take the bait is what I'm going to say. Do not do anything other than stay safe and keep yourself updated as much as you possibly can. We are all hoping and praying that this shutdown comes to an end rather quickly. But let's get into this article. It says a coalition of officials from the half of the states, in the District of Columbia sued the Trump administration on Tuesday over the suspension of food stamp benefits amid the ongoing government shutdown as millions of Americans brace for a disruption in federal food aid in the coming days. The states, which include California, New York, and Pennsylvania, are asking a federal judge in Massachusetts to order the Department of Agriculture to provide benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program for November, including by tapping into a contingency fund to ensure the assistance continues to flow to more than 25 million people living within their borders. So in my previous video, I did kind of sort of discuss the fact that they are not, or Trump does not want to use funds that are supposedly allocated to such a crisis, stating that it would be illegal and that is for disaster relief only, that he cannot use that for supplemental nutrition assistance program for SNAP benefits, which I don't believe at all. I don't. Like I said earlier, I definitely think that this is a choice that they are making not to fund food stamp assistance. I'm not exactly sure what they're hoping to get out of this. Now, let me kind of break it down a little bit further for some of you guys who may still be a little bit confused as to what exactly is going on. So there's a vote that's going on now. We know that they passed that big ugly bill, also known as the big beautiful bill, but I'm calling it the big ugly bill. We know that they passed that bill not too long ago. There's a lot of language in there that basically breaks down into stopping these programs permanently. That's what it boils down to. There's a lot of legal jargon and all of that, but when you break it down into layman's terms, it's really just talking about getting rid of all of these programs permanently. Okay, we know that to be a fact. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. Now, I can't say that that's what they're trying to do currently in this situation, but then again, I've also seen clips of our president saying that he wants these programs to go away, and I've seen Senate in voting sessions, and the Democrats are putting bills up here. So here's the thing when it comes to the SNAP benefits and what's actually holding up the vote as far as what I've seen. So I saw something yesterday where I want to say Senate was in a session and they were voting. You had a couple of Democrats that went up there and proposed bills to keep SNAP funding going on. So this situation here, the reason why they don't want to give in to the Democrats and give the subsidies for healthcare is because it's giving them a really huge tax cut. So the Democrats, from what I've seen, have tried to compromise. I saw one where they said, okay, well, if they pay more than $500 million, then let's give them a tax cut. Then it was if they pay more than $10 million. So the Democrats have come with different bills, but it all boils down to the wealthy people are saying, we're tired of paying all of this money for taxes. So where's that going to come from? We've got to take it from somewhere. And they're trying to take it in the form of these subsidies that go towards healthcare, unfortunately. Jumping back into this article, it says they argue that the administration's decision to cut off the food stamp payments, which are provided to roughly 42 million people nationwide, is unlawful and threatens to deprive millions of Americans of essential food benefits that help protect against food insecurity and hunger. This is a quote. Shutting off SNAP benefits will cause deterioration of public health and well-being, state officials wrote in their lawsuit. Ultimately, the states will bear costs associated with many of these harms. The loss of SNAP benefits leads to food insecurity, hunger, and malnutrition, which are associated with numerous negative health outcomes in children, such as poor concentration, decreased cognitive function, fatigue, depression, and behavioral problems. The states involved in the suit are as follows. So listen closely to see if your state is on this list, y'all. Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin. As the government shutdown continues to drag on, the Trump administration announced last week that federal food aid will not go out on November the 1st after the Department of Agriculture declined to tap into roughly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep benefits through the food stamp program flowing. The agency blamed Democrats for failing to back a House-passed stopgap bill to fund the government, writing on its website that the well has run dry. Okay, the agency's plan for a lapse in funding issued September 30th said that the multi-year contingency funds could be used for state administrative expenses to ensure states could continue SNAP operations during a shutdown, and were also available to fund participant benefits in the event of a funding lapse. But a memo from the USDA issued last week said contingency funds are not legally available to cover regular benefits and are instead meant for things like assisting people in disaster areas. So, as always, you guys know that I'm going to be linking that particular article down below as provided by CBS News. I'm going to link that down below for you guys so you guys can take a look at that for yourselves. But I think that this is I think this is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Like I said, I don't understand why they can't come together and at least pass a standalone bill, which I know is also on the floor for benefits, which, as a matter of fact, I do have an article here. Bill to fund SNAP in shutdown introduced in the House. Now, I think I talked about this in a previous video, but you know what? I don't mind going back into it again just to let you guys know what's going on. So it says Representative Marionette Miller Meeks on Friday introduced a bill to fund the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, as the government shut down. Okay. Is moving closer and closer to us. The Keep SNAP Funded Act of 2025 is what it is called, would keep the food aid program funded during the government lapse until the Department of Agriculture is funded through regular appropriations or stopgap measures. The bill is the companion to a SNAP funding bill in the Senate being led by Senator Josh Hawley, representative, I believe, of Missouri, which Senate Republicans are reportedly considering for a floor vote. Representative Max Miller, a Republican of Ohio is a co-sponsor of the House bill. SNAP benefits are funded by the federal government while states operate and share the cost of administering the program and distributing the benefits. Since funding is sent to states monthly, October benefits were not impacted, of course, but November benefits could be at risk. They are at risk. As far as we know, they're not happening. So it's no more that it's not at risk. But I'm going to be leaving the link to this down below as well so that you guys can take a look at this to see what they're talking about as it pertains to this. I haven't heard anything myself particularly about this keep SNAP benefits funded for 2025, but of course I've got my ear to the streets and I am definitely going to be on the lookout to see if any additional information becomes available. Okay. What I find to be interesting about this and what I know for sure is, unfortunately, the blue states, and I'm pretty sure you guys know the blue states. We have the blue states and we've got the red states. Unfortunately, the blue states are doing a majority of the work as it pertains to funding. A lot of the money, specifically when it comes to California, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. I can't speak for any other state, but I can speak for mine. And I know that California gives a lot of funding, provides a lot of funding towards the government as a whole. A lot of the funding comes from California as a whole, and then is trickled down to the other states that need help. Okay, more specifically those red states. So I hope that they get this together, but this is all the information that I have on this right now. As always, I hope you guys were able to watch this video all the way to the end. Definitely make sure you smash that like button. Really drive up those likes. It really helps to let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and you want me to stick around. As always, I'm going to be leaving the links to these articles down below in the description box of this video so that you guys can take a look at that for yourselves. And let's drop some green hearts in light of my outfit today. I'm getting ready to head to the gym, you guys, so stay tuned for that content as well on my YouTube shorts. But yeah, you guys, as always, I am going to say, remember to live, love, elevate, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye.